Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Moon Colony live stream. Today, we've got Alex P with us. How's it going, Alex?
Dude, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
That's awesome.
So we've grabbed Alex today to kind of do a bit of a Q&A sort of thing where we will take some questions from you guys. I've got some questions for Alex as well, and we'll talk about his new course on Lunar Academy, which is believable character designs, I believe, if the title is correct, right, Alex?
Should be that one,
Should
yes.
be that one, exactly. So if you haven't seen already, there's a banner above our heads that one of you pointed out. Yagi J said, the sale banner looks like caution tape. And you're right, it does. Because it is to warn you that there is a Lunar Academy Black Friday sale happening right now to help you get better at art. It's warning you that you will get better. So if you missed out on one of the course bundles that we were advertising yesterday, they sold out super quick. They're all gone now, but don't worry about it because now we have all courses across our whole range at 50% off, as well as portfolio reviews. They're on sale as well, and if you've seen one of our portfolio review streams, then you know how valuable that information can be. You get a full hour of one-to-one time with a Moon Colony senior professional. So if you want to get some more in-depth advice on how to uh, and how to advance in your career path, then check it out. Go and take a look at lunaracademy.co. I'll drop a link in the chat. There's also an image below me if you're on Twitch that you can click on. But there you go. Nice little doodle, Alex.
Yeah, just
um,
waiting. I
yeah.
mean, till it gets started. I mean, I always doodle.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Um, so if any of you have any questions about Alex's course, then feel free to drop them in the chat. But yeah, until then, Alex, why don't you sort of give us a general overview of what your course actually covers and maybe a little bit about what believability is in terms of character design, like what is a believable character?
Yeah, tough question. I think, yeah, with believable, I mean like more. So I didn't want to focus more on too much on character. I mean, not only on character design, but more like on the process, what makes them believable. And one of those things, I have a bunch of different chapters, but one of those things is how you present them, how you draw them, how the gesture, how the body language expresses it, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I was just so basically this whole course is something like to my former self. That was the main idea. Like, how would I, like, all those things I wished I knew sooner. Um, you know, that kind of stuff I put into chapters, and I'm mostly like I am a self-taught artist when it comes to drawing and painting,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else I learned by working. So I put all this knowledge that I have together.
Mm-hmm.
But believable for me is like there's like you can make a character design in a T-pose, which is fine. You can just filter out the design or just make a thumbnail, but which is great, and I think you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also help a lot with proportions and anatomy. I mentioned things where to watch out for, what's really important, how to keep a certain balance, or what a contrapposto is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's for me believable characters. So some character you can relate with, and also like different archetypes and shape language, contrasts
Mm-hmm.
in a nutshell.
Yeah. When you say like different archetypes, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean the hero, the villain, the
Okay. Yeah.
anti-hero, yeah, the king.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
best example is the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So there are a bunch of archetypes on a journey
Hmm.
to get their world in order. I mean, that's a classic one, but everything, lots of it is built up on these archetypes, every story.
Hmm.
So yeah, like when you design a character, you also need to know your story, what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah.
And it's also different, like um, if you have this course, like is there some story you have yourself, yeah, that you want to develop, or do you want to get better for like working with clients? I think
Hmm.
there's something for everybody in there.
Yeah.
um, I wasn't trying, I mean, it's just basically all my knowledge that I have that I found is important. And if I could, like, if I'm honest, like there's even more stuff, and I could even explore in some chapters, doing even more videos if you want to go in depth, because character design, that has just so many um yeah, so many fields that you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
It's not something that you learn in a week,
Hmm.
but there's stuff that it's in there, just that I mentioned, just by knowing it, that it exists, and I try to make you aware of it. I give some samples of on how to practice it, and just that already will help you.
Yeah. As you say, I think it's one of those things where, you're providing, you're kind of providing the tools, and then going, now you have to then dedicate a lot more time to use the tools, learn how to properly use them, and develop them um, yourself, which is
Kind of,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what is it, what is it about believability in characters that is so important to a client, or to somebody looking at your
Mm.
artwork?
Yeah, it really depends. I mean,
Mm.
character design also, they work a lot in, also in relation to other characters. That's why I
Hmm.
did 3 samples of uh, almost like I I wanted to do some sketches, then I decided to do them cell shaded, and I even rendered them and I put them next to each other,
Hmm.
that they're different. And yeah, like there's so many things. Like if, for example, the height of a character needs to vary, the shapes need to vary, and that makes it, you know, a little bit more working,
Hmm.
believable. It can also mean like it functions, it makes
Hmm.
sense. Um, but for me, believability is actually how to place a character in space, in a 3D space, um, and give them a right pose and attitude, and what to watch out for, and how to go on about it. Or, I mean, sometimes, I mean, it really depends on the artist,
Hmm.
and what kind of stage you are at. Like maybe you want to learn, like you can research super nicely and you have the greatest ideas, but it's not working in a drawing kind of way,
Yeah.
so you don't know how to pull it off.
Hmm.
And so there's advice for that. And then yeah, there are also advices like how to, yeah, play with shapes, or but yeah, from a professional standpoint, it really varies for what kind of client you work in. Some want to have, like flat character design.
Hmm.
Some characters want them a little bit more rough and then develop them. Some really want that you flesh out as much as you can in your first pass. So that really depends.
Yeah.
um yeah.
Cool. I was actually going to say, like you mentioned, obviously it depends quite a lot, but um, how how do you feel like this course really helps beginner artists, or maybe more advanced artists to develop their character design skills more?
Well, I mean, I don't want to shamelessly promote myself, right? I hate that, but
Yeah.
I'm really like sincere with that. I'm
Mm.
also like, personally, I'm self-taught. I started drawing. I didn't even had a connection to internet back in the days, and I
Hmm.
always wanted to figure out
Yeah.
how to draw, what makes a great. Yeah, really. I got, at some point I got really obsessed with characters and
Hmm.
figures and anatomy.
Hmm.
So yeah, I figured out some stuff, and sharing it in depth with the world in this course for
Hmm.
sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's this.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many people that are self-taught who, you know, I think it's really important that they hear from someone who's been through that experience the same as them, and come out of it the other side and be like, okay, here's everything that I wish I knew. So I'm telling you now, so you can kind of like jump ahead a little bit, like get ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, usually, yeah, I'm super self-critical, and this course took me like 6 months. It feels like 6 months. I've been working like
Yeah.
1.5 jobs
Yeah.
for that time, and it was really stressful. But in the end, when I saw the outcome and
Mm.
watched the chapters, and I really have to admit, I was kind of like a little bit proud of myself
Yeah.
that I put something together.
Hmm.
I'm sure it will help some people, but it's so I'm also like I think I almost never bought any kind of tutorials. I never watched any. I'm not influenced by that.
Hmm.
Just influenced by the artists I work with. But this is really like also my personal approach. So I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe find something you've not seen before or not so often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. So my brain just went blank for a second. Um, so in the course, you were saying that, you were saying after. Uh, oh yeah, Emra's in the chat. Hey Emra. He said maybe you can show us a sneak peek of the final character designs from the course. Yeah, yeah, we can put those
Yeah,
on the
sure
screen
thing.
instead of the little the little stick man.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's great to know that I'm allowed to do that. I have a bunch of chapters. I think
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
the
you can show
final
the
ones
final
were
ones.
these ones.
Yeah, so uh, throughout the course, you take these from, you know 0 to 100, right? You go from start to finish on these characters throughout the whole course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
they're like, okay, let's show maybe one. Um, how did I do that? Oops. Um, okay, how can I unlock this guy? Oh my God.
no worries, man. Take your time.
It's
Um,
just more and more layers appear,
yeah,
and I get some kind of brain freeze.
it's all right.
Um, okay, maybe not this guy. So how?
While you're doing that, if you guys
Hmm.
want to check out Alex's course, I'll put a link in the chat. It's currently 50% off. So instead of $39, you can currently get it for 19, which is an absolute bargain. Um, and there is 7 chapters there, including the intro, going all the way from proportions right the way through to like starting with the basics of proportions, going right the way through to final character design and polishing. Uh, so check that out. See, and if you've got any questions for Alex while he's here, then drop them in the chat. Um, how are you getting on with those layers?
Getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need to work with some folders, but so everything is recorded, like even the thumbnails for the characters, like and how I came up with them, why I came up with them. For example, these characters are really personal. It's my kind of story,
Mm,
stuff I like, stuff I'm inspired by, and maybe I would also try to encourage. I mean, if you're working on your own story, just do the stuff you love and don't be afraid to do that. That's really important. This is going to make your stuff more outstanding and more authentic,
hmm.
instead of just following some kind of trends.
Yeah.
Just do the stuff that you like, and it will also show. That's what I did. Not caring if others do. I mean, some do, some don't. You can make everybody happy, but you have to be brave to do your own stuff, to do your own research, to do, like, if you like death metal, and
Mhm.
it inspires you. Put some kind of death metal in there, some of that flavor for your own story or your own characters.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all about the research
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah. Uh, I have another question here. They said, Alex, what was the most light bulb moment for you while you were developing your character design skills?
I have to be honest, like so for my character design skills, um, well, breakthroughs in proportions, anatomy, shape language,
Mhm.
like how you arrange colors. Focal points are really important, where to place them, how to place them, why they are important. If you design characters, or even color, like um, makes a standpoint. So if you place a little bit red and blue, like you can associate color with some mood and some feel.
Yeah.
So your character, I mean, if the story, for example, if a story develops, the hero starts with, certain kind of colors, they might change. There
Mhm.
might be a drastic moment where he transforms and gets a cool suit in red and dark colors, for example. It has a meaning there. Like everything needs to be logical, and if not, and you create something and it still works out, then it's your subconscious talking to you as well. I mean, you can go really deep in there into that, but yeah, the basics. I mean, I just mentioned just a few.
Yeah.
Um, for me, the most light bulb moment was also, personally, I haven't been drawing my characters since I don't know when. I've been
Mhm.
just working the last years
Yeah.
and was doing everything, just not my own stuff, without realizing. So when I started this course, I had a blast,
Mhm.
just having time and do my own stuff, and how much fun it is. And yeah, it really motivated me to finish this course and share it.
Mm. Yeah.
And after that, I'm just can't stop drawing, exploring more characters of my own on the side. Yeah,
That's good. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice that it sort of reignited that passion for you to do your own work as opposed to just your professional work as well. Um,
absolutely.
and I'm sure that that passion that almost definitely shines through in the course for sure. Um, I think what's cool as well is like looking at these characters. They've got such different shapes as well, like body shapes. I mean, yeah, you got it right there.
Oops. Yeah, I'll go through body shapes. There's a chapter talking about this.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, did you wanna give like a quick rundown of what each of the chapters is, like what the chapters are and what they contain?
Sure. Um, so, no, Emra, are you still here? Can I share the chapters? Can I show some sneak peeks of what is in there? Otherwise, I'll be talking about it. But if we get a reply,
Mhm.
so the first one starts like,
He says briefly. Yeah.
uh, so what does briefly mean? Like, can I just have it pop up here quick, or just talk about it? Um, but I start with so the most important thing is just you, like for drawing in general and for character design. I often see like some artists struggle, me included,
Mhm.
um, having like weird proportions. Like, it's really hard to control them, and so the mastery to that is if you have some kind of, like, every good artist I know
Mhm.
or looked up to when I started out, they have like their own kind of a mannequin, certain kind of proportions they like, they always work. Yeah, you can search Google, like, take, I mean, if you look at your favorite artists, they have a certain style. Some do the heads bigger, some do the body smaller, more realistic, but you always recognize them once you see their works. But to make it happen, they have, like, they really know their proportions in their sleep. So that's what the first chapter is about.
Mhm.
I think maybe I can show this quick. Hopefully that's fine, because I think we've been
Yeah.
promoting that. Uh, yeah, I won't show the others, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to get Emra get mad at me, but so here's some kind of in my style, some space marine or fighting
Hmm.
character guy, and I have a grid that you see here. And this
Yeah.
grid I will use a lot. This is my personal approach on designing characters. Like my characters are basically 8 2/3 heads
Hmm.
tall, and this kind of stuff you can practice with some anatomy models, whatever. I don't force you to use these proportions. You can also go with 7 heads tall, whatever you like,
Hmm.
but you need to master it for like for yourself. So after you know that in your sleep and can turn them around in all different angles, it's going to be much faster and easier for you to come up with different body shapes.
Hmm.
And that would be okay. I should show this one, whatever. So different body shapes, quick.
Yeah.
Um, these ones I did from imagination,
Hmm.
pretty fast. You can see that in my video, and like, I came up with them pretty fast because I've been studying that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm talking about. So yeah, yeah. The next one will be perspective, how to foreshorten things, um, how to bend proportions, and how to come up with dynamic poses even if needed. So there's even like there's even lots of additional information just about drawing itself.
Yeah.
Um, Then we have the contrapposto. It's about how characters stand. So you have the relationship of the one shoulder being more up, or the hip being more up, or one foot more forward, one in the back,
Hmm.
and how to watch out for that, and how to. Or there's a chapter about gravity, how it affects you. So if there's a character that has a really heavy backpack, like how to find the middle, the center point of the pose. And then I also like it's interesting. After all this theory, there's a chapter about drawing with reference. So
Yeah.
whenever you do, like myself, I used to draw stuff just for the sake of drawing.
Hmm.
I try to have a nice outcome I can share or be happy about it, but I wasn't paying too much attention of the certain relationship, which foot is more forward, backward, and the balance. And there's a chapter about how to draw with reference, how to steal poses or get inspired by poses, but make them your own.
Yeah.
Put your own design on top. Yeah, like every chapter has a video, I think
Yeah.
should
It
be.
does. Yeah.
So you can really, I think, hopefully also the videos explain. I mean my whole process is explained in that course.
Hmm.
So after drawing with reference, we have archetypes of characters. I did even some cartoony versions of different body shapes, and like the depressed emo teenager, or some happy cheerleader girl,
Hmm.
or some angry angry clerk. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And then we have a chapter talking about silhouettes and shapes, how to make your like. It's really important that if you would use a select tool on your character and fill it out with pure black on all of these characters, put them next to each other, that they're recognizable only by the silhouette.
Hmm. Yeah.
So like you can think really minimalistic about it. I personally like a lot of manga art, and if you
Hmm.
do that with some manga characters, you immediately know when there's just a silhouette of Son Goku, for example,
Yeah.
just because of his hairstyle.
Yeah.
It's immediately recognizable, and you know like what Vegeta is and where Piccolo is because they're also so different. Or I don't know, Piccolo is that. Anyhow, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah. Sure.
this is about shapes in general,
Hmm.
and also have to say that my course is more like a little bit semi-realistic, stylized stuff, while keeping some realistic proportions in mind. I like
Hmm.
stylized art
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
Um,
Rin
what's this?
Rin has said, "I want a depressed emo cheerleader. Can we have a demo? Are you up for?
Yeah, it's
Are
in
you
the
up for?"
course.
Yeah.
I'd love to share it. I mean, it's just a picture, right?
Yeah, you can. You can. I'm sure you could show a depressed emo
Okay, let me take a look where my
cheerleader.
archetypes are. Well, there he is. This
Yeah.
guy right here looking at the phone.
Oh man. Yeah. So there's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a lot there. I mean, yeah, you've even got something that's a bit more like anthropomorphic as well, like a nice animal person.
yeah. Try to keep a broad variety.
Mm,
That's sweet. That you see that. So every chapter has drawings and doodles and sketches on the side.
yeah.
It really took lots of time. I mean, I just wanted to show how I draw characters and
Yeah.
what I think while I do that, and then I
Mm,
just kind of came up with a little bit of some kind of my own workbook or whatever how you call it,
yeah.
um, template.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like your own workflow.
basic, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, cool. So there's a lot of there's a lot of information in that like in the course, but do you have any sort of I don't know homework that you give out or like assignments that you set? Obviously, like we don't mark them or
yeah,
anything, but just to for people to put into action what it is that they learn throughout the course.
yeah. One thing in general, um, that's for me. Like I feel like maybe sometimes I have a feeling that some people just buy tutorials and they look at them
Mm-hmm.
and then they just throw them away. I would say that every little sketch, like even while you watch it, I would just say just try to doodle it.
Mm,
It doesn't like don't try to copy it, but just try to doodle it and understand what I'm talking about. That would help a lot. And every chapter has um, yeah has some advice, some tips, and some kind of a homework
yeah.
what you can do.
Mm.
That's for sure. And yeah, the final exam or whatever
Yeah.
is like create your own ones in color. But yeah, just I would just say follow each chapter, and
Mm,
after that you're good. And even if your drawings don't work out the way you hoped for, I'm pretty sure that if you um, still do every chapter that you will still learn something and that
mm-hmm.
that you will be happy by the end of it. Just
Yeah.
I mean lots of stuff with drawing and successful characters also like yeah, you have to be in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
but I think this course guides you through lots of issues.
Mm-hmm.
that's that was the plan.
Yeah. I mean, it at the very least, it's gonna it's gonna help you with the like the fundamentals of character design. Like any bad habits that you've got, it will probably help you clear up. Um, sorry, I'm just seeing you've got a question. The process of going from a realistic design to a stylistic design seems quite difficult. Not everything has to make sense in character design, right? So going from like a realistic character and transferring them over to being stylized. Um,
Well, there's quite a difference between realism and
mm,
stylization. I don't know, like not everything has to make, well, actually it should in a way. Like, for example, tell me your favorite book and then try to find the right actors for it. There you do already character design already.
okay, yeah,
It's
interesting.
just about thinking which kind of Hollywood actor should get that certain role.
Hmm.
This gonna, you know, strengthen your brain muscles. This is also like how you should approach stylized. If there's still human kind of characters, it doesn't matter if it's super dumbed down version, you still need to get some kind of inspiration from. So you create a mood board.
Hmm.
How far, like style wise, how far you want to take it, it really doesn't matter. I mean, in realism, just you can have a giant sword,
Yeah.
obviously, like Berserk or Cloud Strife.
Hmm.
That wouldn't work, or maybe it would with CGI. Who, I mean, yeah, but no, it still wouldn't be realistic, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, hopefully. But I mean, well, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, in my book, it has to make sense.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, you can't cast some young person playing some older, wiser person, right? So
Mm.
the older, wiser person, how do you want to describe it with visual traits? Maybe they have gray hair, maybe they have a beard, maybe they have not super cool, hip kind of K-pop clothing on them. for example.
Or
You know,
maybe
all these
maybe they're
notes.
just really stylish, Alex. Maybe they're
Maybe
just
they are,
maybe
which is also fine. Okay, go
yeah.
for it. You
Yeah.
can break the rules, right? Here's the thing. Obviously, you can break the rules, but you have to know them all to make it
Hmm.
work successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just seeing Quentin Tarantino, how he does his movies. Learned
Hmm.
everything about movies, knows everything about movies, and then came up with his own weird stuff that kind of works.
Yeah. That's the thing, I think. And as long as yeah, as long as what you're making makes sense in the setting that it's in, like if everyone else looked normal and then you had one character that had really wacky proportions, it's like what what is happening? Um, it should make sense as in the established rules of the world slash style. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I see Jinx. So Jinx is in League of Legends. That is a stylized world
Mm.
where giant weapons exist and gravity doesn't matter as long as it looks cool. The fight scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, like her braids, right? Her hair would be actually in the way if it would come to some real combat.
Mm.
So they wouldn't really make sense in a Hollywood movie with real actors. That's what I thought. But yeah, obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
works. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
It's fine. I mean, yeah, go for it. Just have fun. Yeah, like Rin said, it's your world. I mean, if you come up with your story, it's your world. You set the rules. You just sit down and write them down, or you don't even have to write. I personally, when I research stuff, I find pictures and I cluster them around it and
mm.
edit them and remove them, and then I just draw lines. Lots of my stuff is pretty visual, but
Yeah.
when I see the pictures, I already know what the notes are
Hmm.
without notes. So everybody has their own style. It's also something pretty important. Like when you do that, figure your own method. Like know the basics, know the rules, but in the end, you have to figure your own method, how you're gonna approach them. Knowing, however, what really counts and what makes them successfully work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the thing. I think with this course it would be great to see your method, take away whatever your method might be, take that away, and then you can always develop it. If it doesn't work one to one for what it is you're looking for, you can build on top of it, which is really nice. It's giving you like a really nice base to go from, um, which is awesome.
Yay.
Um, but yeah, does anyone have any other questions for Alex while he's here? Um, if not, I think I've got a couple more written down. Um, I saw just so that we can comment on it. I saw that somebody mentioned on the Discord about the 70-30 rule, which you know as something different. I think you call
Yeah.
it something else, but um, they want to know about how you consider that in a character design and if it's something that we touch upon in the course. Um,
Um, the 70-30 rule. I had no idea first. When
yeah.
I heard this, and then I had to research. But basically, it's the golden ratio.
Mm.
It's just a new hip modern word, I guess, or maybe I'm just too old for that. But the core of it is, yeah, for me is yeah, the golden third, the golden ratio, whatever. I
Hmm.
mention it in my course.
Hmm.
But this is something that you need to be aware of,
Yeah.
and then you have to measure
Whoops.
uh, your character designs. You have to check them, and until you get to a certain point where it becomes more naturally and you have to check up on that last, it's something you have to learn, do it. So just by knowing it, that there is a difference of areas where there is noise happening versus
Hmm.
areas where there's no noise. It's also related how to establish a focal point, basically, on that golden ratio rule of third, 70-30, whatever it's
Whatever you
called
call it. Yeah.
nowadays. But this is something that goes with practice. I
Hmm.
mean, you have to do, yeah, just like keep doing character designs, and you get a nice feel for it. But I think it's also something that could have a video of its own with lots of demonstrations, But if you want to get better at it, I would say just observe your favorite character designs, see where there are, um, you know, where there's a nice flow of detail versus no detail.
Hmm.
Often, like some really saturated color are around the face area or the chest, a little bit more where the focal point is, and you'll often see that on the boots they remain mostly dark or not so much in your face, and you need to manipulatively guide your viewer through the silhouette of the character with colors themselves. So even by how you place colors, yeah, it can be based on the golden ratio.
Yeah.
But I mean, golden ratio 70/30, that's something you can use for illustrations, for colors, for your lines.
Hmm.
You design your furniture, cars, your mobile phone.
Yeah.
It's based on that kind of stuff eventually, most
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah. I've heard that it can fit pretty much everything. So
Yep.
yeah. Um, and oh, we have a nice relaxed question actually. What's your favorite character and why? Or like, who's your favorite character? I guess in anything. Like, do you have a favorite character design in video games or
Oh, I
anime
have
or?
way too many. Um, I mean, I like that friendly hero that's just awesome, keeps practicing, and is not drawn into people's dramas like Son Goku
Hmm.
or Gon from Hunter x Hunter. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys are just pure, but they're thrown, especially in Hunter x Hunter, they're thrown into some environment that is pretty unforgiving,
Hmm.
and they still, bring heart into these settings. So I really love Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Design-wise, I also like Guren Lagann, Kamina, with his cool sunglasses and the red cloak he has, this tribals that works so nice in animation.
Yeah.
Personally, um, yeah, I love it. I mean, everything done by that studio. I just forgot now. I shouldn't. Studio Trigger, that's the name. They
Studio
also
Trigger.
did Kill la Kill and yeah, that kind of stuff. I really like them.
Hmm.
Also, I'm a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Oh, that's got
so
some great. That's
love
got some
those
great ones.
designs
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Studio Trigger also did the Cyberpunk anime, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Edge
Yeah,
Runner.
it looks like their style for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
And
some great characters in that.
yeah, they're awesome. And they're so simplistic and so exaggerated with their shapes and so
Mm.
funny. Yeah, I just love to watch at that style.
Yeah. I suppose that sort of thing, like that's another thing as well, is really paying attention to what other people are doing. Not so you can copy them, but so you can like build that visual library, that sort of references in your head of yeah, these are some cool characters. Here's some assets I like from them, or breaking down why you like them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they're always some that you can relate to.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, one other thing is also I feel like if you really depends what kind of person you are, but if you like horoscope, for example, you set up a world, you can also base your characters on a horoscope.
Mm.
Well, for example, or there's some kind Myers-Briggs
Oh yeah, the personality.
personality guide, which is also
Mm.
interesting. There are lots of forums out there on the internet where people watch the series called The Office, for example. Lots
Hmm.
of people know, and they try to analyze what kind of character, which Myers-Briggs type is that kind of character.
Yeah.
That knowledge also will help you in maybe writing your story or coming up with stuff. Not
Yeah.
obviously in the visual way, but maybe in the way how they behave. So maybe in the pose,
Yeah.
or maybe like even the way they dress. I mean, some types like flashy outfits, some
Hmm.
people just don't want to show off or get recognized. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the okay, I could geek out about this stuff, but let's stick to the course.
Yeah. um, well, I mean, we've got a question from Emra who's actually asked, what/who are your biggest influences, and who helped you become the artist you are today? Also, how did your style develop throughout your career? Wow.
Wow, great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot. I'm really a real geek about artists and artwork. Especially, yeah, like so. I think what really wanted me to draw was Greg Capullo, the comic of Spawn.
Oh,
Once I
nice.
saw that,
Yeah.
I was like, holy hell, how in the, what do I have to do? What do I need to sacrifice to be able to know how it feels to be able to draw like that? I mean, is it talent or is it hard work? I want to figure it out. Like that
Yeah.
got me so curious. I was just blown away. And then on Spawn, there was Angel Medina. He was also amazing. And is and then I like one of the first manga I saw was Eden. It's an Endless World by Hiroki Endo,
Hmm.
where he drew some cyberpunk stuff. It's a really realistic manga art style.
No, that's cool.
And I
Um,
was like, wow, holy moly. And yeah, then back in the days, I discovered concept artwork, and there were also like lots of talented artists um, who were great. So yeah, I really liked Westbird stuff. He's awesome, and Demo Power, that's his name.
mhm.
He worked on lots of um, yeah movies. Um, yeah, but my personal artists were always like more character related.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mm.
I could name lots more. I also love Joe Madureira. I still do love Joe Madureira's artwork. I mean, that guy is a genius. He came
Yeah.
up with the 90s of. I mean, he has great skills, great basics, and he fused anime with that comic style. And yeah, I love looking at his works.
Man, yeah, I need to check some of these out myself. I don't, I haven't heard of most of them. Everyone says, "Oh, the goats." Yeah.
Yeah.
um, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, the second part to that question was also like, how did your style develop throughout your career as well? Um,
Oh wow. Really? That was a question?
that, yeah, yeah.
Well, I could talk about this for an hour. It's a deep analysis of how and why, and I got to some points where I was really frustrated and I was practicing. There were, certain stepping stones,
Hmm.
how it developed. I think first of, like as usual, I started with too much detailed stuff. I wanted to draw in details,
Yeah.
but then I learned anatomy, and I knew about anatomy a lot, but my figures looked really morphed,
Hmm.
wonky for years, and I was frustrated. And the answer is just like absolutely logical. Like they work on your proportions. You
Oh,
know,
so you had the right anatomy, but the proportions were just
I knew
off.
anatomy.
Yeah.
Like I could really draw muscle dudes and all muscled humans, but they felt wonky. And every character design I did was muscled up. Like I wasn't even thinking about fashion or anything. And I got stuck in that pigeonhole. There were many pigeonholes.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's also like I want to like starters or even like yeah starters to avoid these pigeonholes and yeah also like at one point I started taking painting and rendering and colors more seriously.
mhm,
So what was really a big changing moment for myself when I started to paint over my line work and render over it. um, I I got much more loose with my line work. I don't know if it makes sense. So I wasn't able to render, wasn't able to do nice colors, and I tried to have to do beautiful line work because that's the only skill, the only thing I'm good at.
yeah.
While I was forcing myself too much on it instead of letting loose and let go. And once I started rendering over it, it kind of merged nicely.
Mhm,
So that helped me a lot. That was a big changing moment in my art style. And yeah, then I was for a long time following trends in the industry, and they change every 8 or 10 years, I guess.
yeah.
Which is also kind of sad if I look back. I wish I wouldn't have done that, and I would have just, did my own stuff based on everything I like. Basically, yeah, exploring my own world, do stuff in my way, but just knowing the foundation. So it's really, really hard just to mix the art style, uh, the 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 art school with your own ambitions, and not get crumbled by the strong, awesome artwork out there.
Yeah.
Just just to find your own voice in the end.
Hmm.
That's what matters. And yeah, it took me a long time. And I hope people nowadays will find and are brave enough and willing and hardworking enough to do that a little bit
Hmm.
faster, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, once I did these characters, I can't stop. I wish I want to quit my job and just do my own stuff. That's how addicting it is. But I also
Yeah.
love my job, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he says, because yeah, Emma's in the chat, so be careful. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean that sounds great. I mean, I love the idea of like, yeah, breaking through that barrier, and once you're through, it's like, okay, now I just want to keep going for like forever. How many characters can I come up with? Um, no, that's great. I think we have time for maybe one more question. Raccoon Girl says, "What do you think about the characters from Arcane? What are some key things we can learn from it, in your opinion? Have you watched Arcane?"
Arcane. That's the League of Legends show on Netflix right now, right? Yeah, they are
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Um, as far as I think they kind of adjusted them a little bit more as they were
Hmm.
looking in the game. I think they made them a little bit more. I didn't see that, like, I haven't played this game, but I watched the style. So there was like a little girl with a knife and a huge teddy bear
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
game. Was it in the show? I don't think it was,
I don't think she's
because
in the show.
it would look ridiculous. How do they want to make it work? I
Yeah.
mean, a computer game it could work, but I think they pushed a little bit more the realism.
Hmm.
I think there were not too many exaggerated shapes. I mean, they didn't overdo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the style is beautiful. It's
Hmm.
especially I was blown away of the mix of this 2D and 3D,
3D.
what they
Yeah.
did there. Um, until that, I only seen it personally on a show called Claws. It's some kind of Christmas story done
Oh
by
yeah.
some
The
Spanish studio. It was
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. Klaus.
Um, yeah, and they did it
Hmm.
nicely. But they sure tweaked the designs. I'm pretty sure, to make it work a little bit more in 3D or in that world. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's great, amazing.
Yeah. Are we getting some love for Klaus? Yes, they did an amazing job. Oh my God, Klaus is amazing. One of the best ones I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's really nice. I mean, that's another movie that really plays with character shapes as well. In that movie, I think the main character is like super skinny. His arms are really thin. Um, I think Blue Eyed Samurai does the same fusion. I haven't watched that. Have you seen Blue Eyed Samurai, Alex?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool,
Mm.
but a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
But I think Klaus was has a more empathy. Like, it was a little bit more. I really like the lighting and the moods
Mm.
with Arcane. Yeah, everything is a little bit more gritty.
Yeah. Oh, that's really
And
interesting.
yeah, and Blue Eyed Samurai was, I don't know, was good, but I think something was weird with there were some scenes I can't remember. They were just way too much over the top. But yeah, I mean, like, the style is cool, and I'm super happy to see what technology, what kind of possibilities it gives us.
Yeah. Um, Kathy says, to answer what you said, they actually did a rework of the characters in League of Legends for the game after the show. So they've made the game characters fit what they look like more proportionally in the show now, which is
Awesome, yeah, makes
really
sense. So
cool.
that way I think the story is a little bit. I had no idea. I don't know the game, but
Mm.
it really drew me in. It's serious. It's deep. It's about friendship. It's about sacrifices, and
Yeah.
betrayal. And to make that work, they needed to have it, look them a little bit more relatable,
Yeah. It needs to be
more
a bit more
more
grounded.
human-like, not too cartoony or too exaggerated. Otherwise, I wouldn't, buy that, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, I think that might be all the time we've got, unless we uh, get any last minute questions. But while we wait, I will just do another quick plug. So, in case you don't know or you haven't seen any of our announcements this week so far or watched the stream yesterday, um, we are having a Black Friday sale, as you can see in the banner just above my head and in the image in the About section just below. Um, so we are having a discount of 50% off all of our courses. So Alex's brand new course you can currently get for $19, which is crazy value. Um, as well as our courses, our portfolio review sessions are also on sale currently. So if you would like a one-to-one hour-long portfolio review session with one of the senior artists here at Moon Colony, then check it out on Lunar Academy. I'll drop a link in the chat again for you guys. Uh, there you go. And if you've seen any of our previous our previous portfolio review streams, sorry, that stickman just got me again. Our previous portfolio review streams, then you know how valuable that information can be in helping you reach those career goals that you've got. So check that out. And if you've taken part in any of our courses or portfolio reviews or mentorships or anything to do with Lunar Academy and you enjoyed it, or maybe you had some ideas for what you could do to improve it, then please let us know. I'm in the Discord all the time, so drop a message in there with some thoughts, and it will be greatly appreciated. Because we're always looking for some feedback. Um, and is he wearing a bucket hat as well? I'm picking up
Nope,
on it.
that
Yeah,
that's a
it's
cap.
a cap.
Not this
Okay,
time.
I was like, I'm gonna pick up on this every time now. Um, but yeah, be sure to check out Alex's course. I'm thank you for all of the wonderful questions and for hanging out with us this afternoon. Thank you, Alex, as well, for coming along and answering them and
Thanks. It's a pleasure.
talking about your course a little bit. Um, but yeah, we will be back on Thursday. We have a stream on Thursday with let me double check. Oh, it's Leonie's. We have Leonie's stream that we had to rearrange last time. So he'll be back on Thursday. Come along, it'll be a good time. But until then, have a wonderful week, everybody, and we'll see you around. Bye bye.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.